Hello, welcome to this episode of the Harder to Kill podcast. I am your host, Coach Shannon, and I have Kyle with me this week, and we are in a new studio.
We are. You're just going to elephant in the room right away. Yep.
Yeah, because...
this is not our old office.
Yeah. We have some... I'm wearing headphones. Mm-hmm. I got your voice like right in my ear,
This definitely sounds better. It looks better.
Does it? I feel like I look probably stupid.
It's all right.
Okay. Okay, so announcements. We have the AM versus PM coming up next Saturday? No, 2 weeks.
Yeah, 25th. Yep.
Okay. So the 25th, which is also Coach Peyton's birthday. She's going to be like 37. Oh, I've already said that one.
Yeah. Let's pick a new number.
Okay. 29.
Perfect.
29.
She'll be 29.
So we'll be celebrating Peyton's birthday that day. So
sign up is live.
Yeah. So you go to sign up, you go to your app, scroll over to the day and just click reserve. And so then that will let us know that you're going to be showing up. It's no cost, anything like that. So.
Yeah. It's just set up as a normal class in there. So you just reserve it the same way that you normally do. And then you don't need to select like AM or PM. We'll take care of that. We know what class times you come to. And then.
Okay. Yeah. That's a question that people have.
Yeah. Well, we should probably just run through a few like frequently asked questions.
So there's people who, they bounce around to different class times. And so maybe they don't know whether they're AM versus PM. And then I saw that someone asked, was it Adam, whether noon is AM or PM?
Oh, yeah.
So AM classes are going to be 5:15, 8:30, noon. And then afternoon or PM classes are going to be 3:30, 4:30, 6.
Yep. Nice and even now, 3 and 3.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, if you're somebody who kind of goes back and forth between AM and PM, we'll kind of use you as an alternate because we want the teams to be even.
Yeah.
And then coaches will kind of fill in the rest to make sure that it's even. So.
I don't think I'm going to be able to actually participate.
Why?
Because I am currently broken. I don't know.
What specifically?
It is like 2 weeks from now.
I'm just trying to get you to talk about your cat.
I don't want to talk about it. I try so hard not to talk about it.
That's not apparent.
Okay, well, I'm trying to. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. Anyways, I'm just afraid.
Isabel can sub for you.
Isabel actually just said yesterday. She must have seen. I don't know. Did we make a post about it or?
I mean, it's been on like the Sugar Wad.
Oh, maybe that's where she saw it because she brought it up yesterday and she hasn't even been like doing classes really. I mean, she was doing your teen class for a while, but like.
Oh, I mean, well, she did it last year or the year before or whatever.
She's done it the last 2 years.
Yeah, okay. So she probably just knows
she
it's
was
time.
doing like more classes and stuff. And so I just was like, oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to like want to do it or whatever. And she's like, yeah, why not? I'm like, I mean, she's also like has started track season. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So yeah, Isabel will be signing up for it. Last year, I remember she had to partner with Tracy and Amanda and she was like scared to death.
Yeah.
But don't be scared. It's actually pretty. It's just chill. It's fun. How it works is.
Well,
go ahead.
We might be changing. I don't know. I'm playing around with a couple different structures. So it might be a little different than what we've done in years past as far as like the relay style workouts.
I was going to say that. I was just going to say more like how it works is you'll be guaranteed like 3 workouts.
Yeah. So it might be a little different. So I'm playing around. I kind of have it built out both ways right now. And I think we're going to try something. I think we're going to try something new this year. I think we're going to do 3, possibly 4 workouts that everyone does.
Oh.
And they all are like the same thing essentially.
The same thing. What do you mean?
Like everyone does the same thing. So in years past, it would be pick one person to do this workout, pick one person to do this workout, where this would be start to finish. It would be ran more like a typical competition. Mm-hmm. But the challenging part with it would be that we wouldn't be able to do different divisions because that's not really what we want, right? It's AM versus PM, not AM scaled versus PM scaled or whatever. Right. But I've got some pretty good workouts written that I think are pretty inclusive and allow people, like basically everyone to play in the same workout, but then there's something for everybody kind of as the workout progresses type of thing. Just to try something new. And it also save, not that it was a big deal, but it'll save a ton of time and just confusion with the initial setup where you're like plugging people into workouts, which could be argued that that was part of the fun, but it also is a big part of the stress. And I just wonder if people will have the same amount of fun with way less, like, taking 30 minutes to figure out who's doing
Oh my gosh, it really did take that long.
I mean, it's a challenging thing to do. I mean, you have to take assessment of your whole team, figure out, okay, well, this person's really good at this, but we need them over here for this. And
sometimes people would want to do specific things.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it was
so now it's a little bit more just like set for you.
Yeah. And then you always have the people who are like, they just stand in the back. They're like, oh my God, don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Like, I don't want to say what I want to do. And then I always kind of feel bad for them. So usually on like the teams will have one or two coaches on them to kind of help facilitate figuring out who did what. So I would always try to like take into consideration the fact that I know these people, I know what they enjoy doing, I know what they're capable of. So trying to like fit them in like the best way that you
naturally
can.
kind of a team leader kind of emerges and takes care of it. But
yeah, for sure.
So I'm thinking that we're going to just do it a different style. And when I say I'm thinking, I think I'm making the decision as we're talking right now
okay.
that we are. I have it planned that way, but then I was not sure if I was going to pull the trigger on that.
Okay, so you're changing up the structure. So if you've done it before, then it might be a little different than what you're used to.
Yeah,
but it's still like
different.
The competition style is that you have two equal teams for people that mostly go to the AM and then people that mostly go to the PM. And then we just basically run the teams against each other for all of the workouts.
Yeah, and then just to, you touched on it, and just to reiterate, it's the way the workouts are programmed are going to be accessible to everybody. So, I mean, there's, naturally people will shy away from signing up, just being intimidated, or is this for me, and that type of thing. And it's like a beginner to advanced type of
I just
deal.
had an intrusive thought. Do you think I should share it?
I think you have to.
Is it too late?
Yeah, no, just.
Okay. Well, I have this camera on me. And it's like totally shooting my bad side. Like, you sat over there. I should have sat on that side so I could look good in this video. It's got my bad teeth on that side. Damn it.
Should we just cut and we're on the other side?
No.
No? Okay.
No. I mean, I'm partially kidding, but I'm also not kidding. Like, I'm serious about the thing, but I'm kidding about that I care about it. But if I had gotten to like choose and like think about that in advance, I would have done that, like for pictures and stuff, when someone comes up to you and like, oh, let's take a picture, like whatever. I always I'm like, bro, I got to be on this side. You know what I mean? This is just what I got to do.
And I think we've already selected sides, so I think
now we can never change.
No.
As long as you look good, it's fine.
Yep. So
you look good from both sides. Okay.
Yeah, I'm very symmetrical.
Okay.
So that wasn't intrusive or disruptive.
Sorry.
Anyway,
what were we talking about?
That's the AM versus PM throwdown. Sign up on or on the Warrior Strength and Conditioning app. I forget where you sign up, but that's where you sign up. And then, just reserve
Go to the apps, scroll over to the day, reserve the day that you're coming. It's not like, it's going to be for all levels. So don't not sign up because you're afraid that you're like a beginner or you're a function athlete or whatever.
Yeah, you know what? We'll probably get the workouts ahead. We'll probably start getting those out here next week. So you'll be able to see it and just, once you see that, you'll be like, oh, I'm capable
So
of
it's
that.
usually like, it's for fun and it's usually team style stuff. You're not going to be really like, what's the word? Like
on the spot.
Yeah. Like out there just on your own, like doing
putting on a performance for everybody. Yeah. There was one last point I wanted to make, and it's gone. Oh.
You'll think of it. Oh.
And it's back, and it's gone. No. Anyway, there's definitely one more thing that I'll interrupt you when we get rolling.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect. So we're actually doing this episode today because we're going to talk about the training block that we just started. And I do apologize for being a week late because it didn't start on Monday. What was the day on the March 6th?
The March 6th?
Yeah, the Monday.
It started on
Monday,
the March 6th.
The March 6th.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not how you say that.
Nope.
Monday, March 6th.
Yep, there's no the.
Okay. Yeah. Monday, March 6th is when.
So we're just 1 week.
Started.
We're just 1 week behind. But honestly, for any training block that we didn't get out ahead of time, this is probably A-okay.
Okay. Do you want to do any sort of, I didn't ask you this ahead of time, but do you want to do any sort of like recap of the last block?
Oh yeah, we might as well.
What did we do last block? I forgot.
Mainly the 5x5s.
Yeah, the back squats.
That was really
like the main.
That was really the main focus.
The main event.
Was there other focuses?
I don't know.
There was.
I forgot.
It's 2 weeks ago now. The 5x5s was obviously the main focus. As that recurred week to week, but
yeah, because we didn't do any like retest or test of like workouts in that one, did we?
No conditioning, no.
So it was mostly the lifting. I feel like we did feel like we did a lot of like Olympic lifts. We did a lot of like jerks that we hadn't done before, I feel like.
Yeah.
So the answer to my question is no, you don't want to recap last block.
Just maybe just the 5x5 back squats. Obviously, those are like very extremely just, I don't want to say boring, but 5x5s are such a just middle of the road, but they're super effective and they work really well. So the thing about 5x5s is you can't go super heavy on them because it is 5 reps. Mm-hmm. And so you just feel kind of like you should be able to go heavier. That's the other thing is you also feel like you should be able to go heavier because it's only 5 reps. So it's just like,
it's a weird number.
It's really in this sweet spot where you just are kind of in the middle ground, but obviously we selected that for its,
I think it's a little harder to predict what you can do also, like doing it week to week, you obviously gain the experience, but like, I think it's hard for people to estimate what they can hit for 5. And I think that, you end up either going too light or you end up hitting it too heavy and then you can't finish.
That's the advantage of doing that week to week is you can make, if you messed up week 1, you can make the adjustments week 2. And then by week 3, everybody should be dialed in. So across a 7-week block, let's say you really.
Is that how long it was?
Yeah. So if you really mess it up, you're still getting like 4 or 5 weeks of the progression. So, which is a lot. That's 4 or 5 5x5s.
Yeah.
Do that math.
Not on the spot.
Okay, I think it's 125 for 5.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but people. So I think people, they didn't want to miss the back squats. Like, I know that like, okay, it's kind of maybe seems boring to like do it every week, but I think people like it because they can see their progress. It's predictable to them. They kind of get an idea of like.
Is this where we now trash talk people that don't like accessories?
Yeah, let's do that.
Hell yeah.
Okay. But how do you want to segue into that? Because I felt like I was still in the middle of my sentence about the back squats, but okay.
Yeah. No, we're done with that portion of the podcast.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, because we had our accessories always paired with the back squats each week or whatever.
We don't really have to trash talk people. I just thought that would have been a cool thing to do, but we'll take the higher road here.
Okay.
We'll just say accessories are important for growing your muscles, feeling good, and avoiding injuries.
Perfect. I love accessories. I think it's fun time.
Yep. Sarah did go. You know what? We should just snip that from the last podcast where Sarah talked.
Yeah,
she had a really good explanation of like how she likes it and how she likes to focus on slowing down and feeling all of the things working. And it really does help with coordination and just like dexterity and knowing where your body is.
I think she figured out how to make it valuable to her. Mm-hmm. And it was thinking about that sort of stuff. Like, okay,
I'm coming from a spot of needing that kind of beat down feeling, because that endorphin dump. And that's what she wanted. And she kind of learned how to move away from that and get something out of something that's kind of on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, because she's kind of always said that. But in the last episode, she did say that she, in the past, has not always enjoyed like a lifting only day. Mm-hmm. And she's not the only one. I mean, there's people on all ends of the spectrum, right? Like a lifting only day to me is like my favorite day. That's my favorite day, you know? So yeah, I just think she was able to kind of change her mindset with it to be like, what can I pull positive? So when I come in to do this stuff, I can get the most that I can get out of it. Because if you come in with anything with a bad attitude or with like, oh, I'm not going to enjoy this. This is going to be boring. I'm not going to have fun or like whatever. Yeah, then you're not going to.
You can build things up. So I had a conversation with somebody who had kind of told me how they didn't love it. They didn't love like the heavy, well, it wasn't they didn't like heavy lifting. It's they didn't like the focusing on that for the majority of class and then hitting accessories afterwards. And then later they kind of told me like, I think a reason I don't like it is just because I'm not as strong as I want to be. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, so that's probably a reason you should figure out how to like it more. Right. So people will put up kind of these walls and, we're human and we try to protect our ego from that bad feeling. Yeah. And so whatever. But I mean, when you're exposed to it consistently week on end, like that's the best way to kind of push through that.
Yeah, for sure. And,
and honestly, just recognizing that is probably the reason you don't like it. That's like half the battle.
Like you don't feel good at it. So you're not going to like it as much.
Yeah. But that's the first step in figuring out how to like it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Just, embracing that sort of stuff too. Like, oh, I'm not as good at this. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to actually try to improve it, or I'm going to work on it and not worry as much about like what other people perceive you as doing it or whatever. And accessory work is never really, man, if you're competitive on accessory work, I don't even know what to say about you. Like that's the least
I think everybody
place to compete.
I think everybody understands why we don't score that kind of stuff. Like they totally get it, right? I had conversations with people, which we'll get into. Maybe it's a separate episode about like kind of the open and that type of thing. But I had conversations with people that express their how they value the open and they like that type of thing and they like that competitiveness. And we can dive into all that. But people do understand why you can't do that with the accessory work. It's just like, yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Slow box step ups.
Yeah.
Like, let's compete.
Yeah. I'm going to beat your ass at that.
Yeah. When really we really need you to like isolate your glutes, and like you really just need to work on getting stronger with your single leg work. Cause a lot of the accessories is a single arm, single leg. You're really isolating like, specific muscles and stuff like that. So it's supposed to help you get stronger, which, if you get stronger in your single leg, it's going to transfer into your double leg work. That's a new
double leg.
Yeah. That's a new official term.
We're taking that back from like the wrestling.
Yeah. I don't know anything about wrestling. Is that a term in wrestling? Did I just steal from the wrestlers?
I think so. Okay, I don't know anything about wrestling either, but that sounds like a wrestling thing.
So I keep hitting this table thing and I'm sorry. Okay. Well, that was our clumsy recap of last block. I hope you're still listening. So for the new block, I wanted to go ahead and go over, if you open your sugar wad and you go to the Monday, the March 6th.
The Monday, the March the 6th.
March the 6th. Then you can see this little write-up that we have there. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's some comments. So Sarah Sulzberger had said, how are there still so many new acronyms for me to learn after doing this for so long? And so then I felt bad because I assumed that like there's probably other people that are like, what are all these acronyms, And that's kind of one of the criticisms of CrossFit is that the terminology and the acronyms are kind of exclusionary, right? Like you feel like you're, I don't know, taking like a brand new class or something. Do you know what I mean? And then you have to like learn all these terms. And then you kind of feel like when you're going into a class setting, you're like, I don't know what this stuff means.
Yeah, but I think the flip side of that is once you learn it all, you feel special.
Oh, okay. So anyway, if you want to feel special, I went ahead and went over what some of the acronyms mean. And like the very first sentence, welcome to the GPP phase. What does that even mean?
I probably could have just typed it out, huh?
Yeah, like what does that mean?
General physical preparedness.
Yeah, what's that mean?
So somebody told me they really liked this whole thing, how it was all typed out. And I was like, thanks. It's a really nice way of saying we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
General physical preparedness just is like the most broad sense of no singular focus. The focus is on being general. So
I feel like we normally do a block like that over the summer.
Yeah. Well, typically it's as the weather starts to get nicer because we can start doing like the sleds and that type of stuff, which are really good for GPP.
Yeah. Which is what again?
I'm done.
General physical preparedness. So it's just overall fitness. And so a lot of times things that go into that like GPP category are things like the sled or the sandbags, because they don't feel as like specific as like learning a clean and jerk or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, picking up a heavy sandbag off of the floor is essentially doing a deadlift, but doing a deadlift with a barbell while it is a general physical skill, it is pretty specific. Like deadlift bars are, for the most part, always set up at the same height. Like you can pull from blocks and deficits and do this kind of stuff, but generally speaking, you're always pulling that bar.
Well balanced.
Yeah, the bar is typically loaded evenly on both sides.
Yeah.
Unless you messed up a little bit.
Yeah.
But with that type of training, it does make up the bulk of our training, doing things like deadlifts and back squats and that kind of stuff. But there is utility in doing some odd object training. I mean, no one really wants to be the guy who can deadlift like 500 pounds and then you're not useful to help your friend move a couch because you can't like the bar or like the couch has to be exactly this many inches off of the floor. It has to be nice and even. You'd probably be able to do it, but you know what I mean? It's just like getting some good real world, call it like farmer strength.
Okay, perfect. I like the sleds too, because you can really get a lot of like leg strength development.
Well, it's just simple.
Yeah.
It's just
but
like, hey,
people always
this.
think they can, or people can always do more than what they can think on that too. Which
Yeah. Well,
cool.
it's a kind of a cool way to just break down all kind of barriers to entry. There's no skill involved. It's just like, here's a heavy object, pick it up, put it on your shoulder, or here's a heavy object, push it across the parking lot. In my opinion, like this GPP stuff, it's the most simple form of fitness.
Yeah. So yeah, generally in our training blocks, I feel like whenever we do these overview episodes too, we're always like, we have like 4 or 5 focuses, like we'll have like a couple of lifts and then maybe like some skills or like, you know, something like that. So this is where we're going to be kind of like, I don't know, would you say maybe taking some of the things that you have learned over the last year and kind of being able to pepper those in like...
Yeah. Or so it could be a bunch of things that you've learned over the course of, you know, coming to the gym, whether it be a year, 2 years, 10 years, and you're going to get to kind of, I don't want to say test them all, but you're going to have the opportunity to just kind of have fun with them. There's lower, I guess expectations. Yeah, might be the right word. Is it's like, you know, we talked about or I guess you and Sarah had talked about on like the 5x5 back squats, just the difference between training and testing, and how with training you might be, which we were training with the 5x5 back squats. It was like, maybe you're playing around with a different stance or a different bar placement or just this or whatever, like tempo, pausing. This is going to be more of like, yeah, what you want to do. So we clean and jerked on Monday, which was the week 1 heavy.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, how many different variations of the clean and jerk and weight did people end up doing? We're just not putting a ton of parameters on the lifts themselves, and we're letting you kind of explore a little bit.
I mean, that particular day there was kind of, you did a squat clean,
push jerk, or a
most
split
people
jerk.
did a push jerk just because.
But what I'm saying is it wasn't specified that you had to push jerk, you had to split jerk.
Yeah.
Heavy is relative, obviously,
For
but we let people build across the rounds. So some people ended up going way heavier than they thought. Some people ended up using weights that they just kind of had picked those weights because they weren't weights they were used to using in Metcons. It was
like lower pressure to try some heavier.
It's a really good opportunity to, we'll steal it from street parking. They're like fitness freedom.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, we have these standards and these things that we want you working towards, but this is a really great block where you can kind of, hey, I want to try something new or this type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, cause you're not like testing it week to week,
right?
And, you know, like,
yeah, we were clean and jerking every single Monday. Then it's like, okay, we're going to start week 1 with kind of dialing in what we're looking for as far as standards go.
Yeah.
And then we'll build off of that week to week.
And you're going to be looking to improve your technique or your weights within that realm, not like, you know, most of the time you'd be doing that in like a strength piece or like a 20-25 minute section of, you know, being able to like work up in weights or whatever. And we would not normally put that in a workout style.
Right.
So you're just going to see more workout styles that kind of allow you to maybe try some things that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah. Maybe it's just like a little bit more, you call it.
Yeah. Okay.
A little bit more of like, you get to kind of determine this, or I mean, if there's something specific, you could even just check with the coach. Hey, I want to sub this out. So obviously that post on Monday, March 6th is a very long post, and it explains week 1, your high CNS lifts, meaning heavy. So you can take a look at that. Those are all going to be the lifts that you're going to be able to push up the load on. Those are mostly going to be.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I just realized for the first time that's what those W's mean.
What did you think they
meant? I never even looked at those. I thought it was just like a list. Like I never even thought about that. And you guys, I did not do those acronyms like W1. What does that mean? Bro, that seemed obvious right there.
Yeah, you failed.
Dude, am I the only one? Like someone out there be like, no, I didn't notice either. Someone save me.
I bet everybody looked at that and was like, week 1, week 2, this makes perfect sense.
No, dude,
wow.
I did not even like connect those dots at all. You know what I was thinking? Okay, so when I saw this stuff, I was just like, all right, cool. So this is the stuff I'm going to see. You know what I mean?
Oh, you just looked at that as a big list.
A big list of stuff I'm just going to see that I'm going to be doing over the next, how many weeks?
7.
7 weeks.
You can tell it's 7 because of the last one saying W7.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Wow.
I've been really out of touch on this. Okay. Going back to the acronym thing
now. Do you
need
a minute?
No, I'm recovered.
Okay.
High CNS lift. Like people don't know what CNS stands for.
Central nervous system.
Yeah.
Which is why those are all like the heavy ones, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I just want to make a quick note about what I did for my clean and jerks for Monday, because since I hurt my calf, I don't know if you guys have heard, I knew I was going to have to mention it. It's just the way it's going to be. But I didn't think I'd be able to do it at all. And I was able to kind of like just get the empty bar out and just kind of see like how it would feel to like squat with a bar. I haven't done that yet. Like it's like in a front squat situation, and I haven't like dynamically done it for sure. And, I was able to do 55 pounds because I can muscle clean that and basically push press it really easy. So I was kind of happy with that. I did do the wrong reps on the push-ups though. So, I mean, a little bit of a fail.
Fitness freedom. Anytime you mess something up, you can just say fitness freedom.
Right.
Now. Be like, it's what I needed to do.
I was free to do 8 instead of 10 reps.
Right, exactly.
Like made no difference for me to do 8 or 10, but I don't know. I had it in my mind. It was 8-8-4, like my whole workout, 8-8-4, 8-8-4 is like what I was doing the whole time. And then I didn't even realize it until I saw someone else's score and they had typed out what they did. And they were like 10 hand release push-ups. And I was like 10. And I go back to the thing. I'm like, oh,
yep.
Okay.
Did you want to go through all the acronyms? We're getting them all?
Oh, I was just, so GPP, CNS, what were the other ones?
I don't know.
That are on here.
I don't know if it's necessary to go through all of them. They can look at the little legend at the bottom that you created.
Yeah, go down to the bottom of that. I think, QF quarterfinals. That's just, so we have the open, and then the next step of the CrossFit Games stuff is the quarterfinals. And so what do they take the top 10% of each category for that? So it's not that relevant to us, but it was in the write-up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You want to go back and talk about the training block instead of the acronyms?
That's fine.
Okay.
Go back.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Exactly. Yeah. Another intrusive thought.
Where were we? We were when I was realizing that.
You had just discovered that those were all different weeks. So,
okay, got it.
You can read the list for yourself. We're not going to go over every single movement and every single thing here, but you can just tell by the list of movements that there is no specific focus. There's no common theme. I guess, except for the common theme of it's going to be very general. So, you can expect to see where it says high CNS lift. You have 7 different lifts there. And you'll be able to push the weights up on those and go pretty heavy on those each
sumo
week.
Deadlift.
Yep, week 6. And then that GPP lift, that could be heavy as well. It could be more of like a volume lift. Just kind of depends, but you'll be seeing, there's some carryover there with some cleans and that type of stuff. And there's some stuff on there we haven't done for a little while. And then
wait, I do want to talk about that one acronym on week 4 for MF pressing complex. So it's Misfit.
You are super caught up on these acronyms.
I know. I just want people to know what they mean.
It doesn't. That one probably doesn't matter. It's just a pressing complex.
Okay, a pressing complex that you don't know what it is yet.
I do know what it is, but it's just
no. The people listening.
Yeah. Just show up and figure it out.
I know you know what it is.
Yeah. Okay, but
I don't know what it is.
Probably where we should spend more of the time here is going to be that gymnastics skill and focus each week.
Okay.
Which sometimes recording these after the week has already started. The block has already started makes sense because then people get a little bit of a taste of it and then they can relate.
For sure.
So obviously week 1, we did those rope climbs. We did that rope climb skill on Wednesday, I believe.
I am kind of disappointed though that I don't see rope climbs on there again.
Well, that's because it's a GPP.
I know, but I think we hadn't done them in a while.
Right. So that maybe it's just like, it's a tease to our training block where we actually do them.
Yeah.
But, people still were able to hop on and kind of figure that out. So we just find that the gymnastics skill focus can be one of the I don't want to say harder to get engagement, but you just need to come with like a sense of focus on those days. You need to get something out of it.
I want to say the biggest issue with the gymnastics stuff is that the wide range of abilities, it's a lot easier to do like the lifting portion. Yeah, you can you just go lighter.
You can just reduce weight, reduce range of motion to accommodate injuries and that type of stuff. And when it comes to gymnastics, there's just a lot more variables that are hard to kind of account for on the fly.
Yeah.
Or
even plan for in advance. I mean, it's just like,
that's a good point.
There's just such a wide variety of what people can do with that like if you're a person who's literally brand new to this, like you have to start at ground zero.
Yep.
And then you have people that are, in your classes that are very experienced with it. And so I think with gymnastics, that's just the hardest thing is, also too, like if you're newer or maybe just you're not as strong or, I don't know, there's several factors, but if you just if you feel like gymnastics are like a difficult thing, then I don't even know if it's a problem with engagement, just as more as like just not feeling good about where you're at, like with it. Because, you know, gymnastics, most of the movements are like really hard, you know, so you have to like work really hard at them. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, I think people might just not realize the level of strength, body coordination, that type of stuff that's needed to do just some of the basic,
like a strict pull up or something.
Yeah, or like just like a ring support, just holding yourself on the top or bottom of the rings. And it's like, I just don't want people to feel super discouraged if that's not something they're capable of, because it looks very simple. But you might need to start with something a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And it's just really easy, I think, to get discouraged with those.
I think the nice thing about gymnastics though is like, if you can kind of come at it with a learning mindset, like I'm here to learn how to do this, you'll actually be able to progress, even as something as simple as like a rope support, or not a rope, a ring support, because the first time you get on it, you're like, oh, this seems impossible.
Yeah.
But actually kind of what we found, because we did do a training block like last fall or summer-ish.
Yeah.
People were able to progress like every week on that.
Going from not being able to support on the rings to supporting top, bottom, even getting some ring dips.
Yeah, for sure. So
that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, with these gymnastics focus in this block, we're not going to be building week to week.
Yeah.
So just use it as a time to try something new.
Yeah.
Start to develop the little bit of a new skill, and know that some of this stuff will come back around across the next year, and you'll have more time to actually put into learning those things.
Yeah.
Just kind of use this as a try something new type of thing.
Yeah, like definitely try the next progression, you know, like I had some people on the rope climbs, some ladies trying some legless rope climbs. Well, they've never tried before, because I think sometimes you get in your mind like, I can't do that, you know?
That might be just kind of a good way to wrap up kind of our ideas on this training block. Is this next 7 weeks, 6 now, is a really good opportunity to just kind of try some things. There are obviously guidelines, and we're going to push you in the right direction. Like on our heavy days, we are looking for that to be heavy. But you have a little bit of freedom in, especially the gymnastic stuff of what you want to try and what you want to get good at. So,
yeah. So, you said you wanted to wrap up. So does that mean you don't have anything else to say?
No, I don't think so. Just because of how general this training block is, and because I don't want to say it's not important, but sometimes when we do these training block episodes, we're really trying to get people off on the right foot so that they can get the most out of the 7 weeks. So for example, I remember talking about the back squats last time, and it was like talking about how to get people dialed in so they could leave room for growth and not just establish a 5 rep max on the first
every week.
Yeah. And just feel like trash. So that's way less important for this training block because of the lack of linear progression across it. And it's just a good opportunity to try some new things, push on days that you feel like pushing, and you can kind of back off on days that don't feel as good. So,
hey, I'm going to say 2 things. So one is 1 day per week is also going to be a cardio day. So you can be happy about that. If you're a person who's into cardio days, which is not me.
Yeah.
That's not my favorite day.
Yeah. And that obviously is going to manifest in lots of different ways. So, So like this week, it was the kettlebell swing and rowing workout.
That was a hard workout.
Yeah. But also very simple. So. Yeah,
for sure. Okay. So then what was that? Oh, the other thing I was going to say, what's different about the studio is the distractions. What?
Oh, you got up here. And
you sorry.
Like that, and then I couldn't hear your voice.
Sorry. I'm not used to this mic. What was I saying?
You're talking about all the distractions.
But then you distracted me.
Yeah.
No, so at the gym, we have 2 windows in the office, and one leads into the gym and one leads outside. I am constantly distracted by the cars going by outside and like the noises
and people
mowing,
people lifting up their shirts and putting their chest against the window. And
yes. And then the window in the gym, someone's always waving at you. Someone always they want to, like, I've been like miming answers to people's questions about stuff like through the window. So it's been no distractions.
So we were able to get that done in 35 minutes.
Yeah, cool. For sure. So are we done?
I think so. I don't think there's really anything else that needs to be said about this training block.
Okay. So you're going to try a bunch of different things. You're going to work on changing your attitude towards trying new things.
Yeah.
That's coming from your coach. going to be coaching you on your attitude.
Yeah.
As well. So.
People did really well. Well, hey, we did do ring muscle up progressions actually 2 weeks ago, and that went pretty well. There's people that know that, hey, I'm not going to be able to do that. But as we've talked about with the gymnastic stuff before, building the prerequisite strength to be able to, even if you don't care about doing a ring muscle up, you probably care about something that we're practicing, right? Like if you're just looking to build shoulder strength, well then let's get some ring support work in, or some good, the push-up transitions, that type of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something that you care about. We want to help you kind of find what that is so that you feel more connected to the training.
Yeah. I mean, everybody wants to get stronger.
I think. Probably.
I mean, I think if they're members of our gym, they do. That's usually one of the main things people join for, is because they want to get stronger. And so, and I also would just challenge the idea of like, you know, thinking, well, I'm never going to do a ring muscle up, so why would I care to do ring muscle up progressions? I mean, it's the same thing as any other movement.
I'm never going to deadlift 500 pounds. Why would I deadlift?
Yeah, you don't need a deadlift anymore. So I don't know. I guess it's just kind of like, I think you can kind of piggyback off what Sarah, you know, was basically saying. Find the thing that you can value. Find the nugget that you can pull, like from whatever it is that we're doing.
Right.
You know, and for each person that might be a little bit different, like what that is. So just, you know, challenge you to, you know, especially on a training block like this, where you might be seeing like a lot of different things, just go into it with like an open mind of basically, I'm just going to see what happens. I'm just going to try it. I'm going to try to learn. I'm going to, you know, just not being like, oh my gosh, I hate rope climbs. I cannot believe those are on there.
And we're trying to provide like a low pressure environment for you to
for you to try
some of these new things.
Like it's not for time or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. So.
Okay, cool. Well, that's your training block. So we'll be seeing you guys in the gym.
See you.
Bye.